He's good.
I know he's good.
He's good. There's 2 of us here. He'll be all right.
He's letting his gato out. Let that gato out the door.
Preferred Neko.
Oh man, now I'm getting pictures with these spam accounts. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry, is this Jenny's number? Not Jenny.
Jenny, I got your number.
I've bought cocaine from Jenny before, though.
Well, I mean, everybody has her number. 8679.
305.
Everyone has Jenny's number. 5309. Right? This is the individual they're claiming to be.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
I always play their games
legit.
for a while. Oh, Eileen, beautiful. I'm Eileen Lee. Nice to meet you, Eileen Lee.
Find out, what you gotta do is find out where they're at and just say you're like close to them.
I've been getting less of these and more of the your USPS package is available at so and so.
Oh God, I get that.
What happened?
You know what you do to Eileen, right? If we're talking about
it's another song.
Song-wise.
It's another song.
Yeah.
Come on, Eileen.
Come on. Brant, we're live. You walked off when I said Brant, we're live.
At this moment.
Is it spelled AILEEN? No, the song title starts with E, right?
Yeah, it's E. You just said Eileen, so sorry, Mike.
They're even using iMessage. That's crazy. You usually get some sort of...
Dude, that looks like... does that not look like an Indiana Jones thing?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Oh, that's a disc system game. I saw that when I was looking through there.
What is that? Was that Trail of something? Was it Trail of what?
It looks straight up.
Armana, was that Trail of Armana? What does the Armana mean?
Armana.
No.
Kiseki. Yeah, it's Trail. It's Kiseki's Trail. No,
it's a Trails game.
Brant, you're getting called out for your "Come on, Eileen" comment.
Oh, I am.
The chat is ablaze with commentary. I hear us on somebody's screen. Is it mine?
Come on, Eileen.
Armana.
Was that our mic check?
I mean, I even stole that joke. So.
Yeah, we're all in there. I hear us on somebody's screen. Yeah, there's. We passed the mic check, gentlemen.
Mic check.
Murray says, but where? Where on Eileen? Oof.
Exactly.
Renee's just so innocently with his hello. Hello, Renee.
This became like what, 18 plus? Just with that.
Where would you like me to?
No.
So like, the rules is for YouTube is like you can't say like shit and fuck in the first like 5 minutes, right? I think.
Yes. So I'm treading.
We're already out. We're already out. But when I post like my resistance things, I click not for kids. So I don't know how that boots up, but
it's monetization, right? You can't. It doesn't matter if you put on there for. I think there was like a time limit. You can't just. Where they
on the monetization tier.
Channel. Yeah, and you're not a recommended channel if you start dropping hard language in the very beginning.
Is that why Jeff Gersman waits?
Possibly.
Hello, I'm Jeff Gersman, host of this week's Jeff Gersman Show.
Yeah.
Hey, he had old friend Arthur Gies on the show a couple weeks ago. Did you listen to that one?
No.
I was like, man, I haven't heard Arthur Gies in a long time.
I ever since Giant Bomb's kind of changed, I don't frequent any podcasts anymore. That's something I just don't visit. So, yeah.
I mean, mine has dwindled down to basically 2.
I'll catch Gertzman ever so often on Twitch, and that's
I'd rather watch his NES streams than anything.
I typically use my listening time for mostly just music. So.
KT says we look super filtered. Is there a reason? Did I change any?
What'd you do?
No, I don't think I changed anything. I changed
like Super HD. I don't know what that means either. I need I don't know.
Maybe it's the stuff that's on Eileen is covering the. I'll stop.
That's Vaseline.
Is that what it is? Is it like a smear on the screen or something?
Almost like airbrushed. Probably just HD. I usually broadcast.
Flies in the Vaseline.
Richard's really bright, and Cesar isn't playing Rainbow Bright tonight. Well, yes, Cesar doesn't have his lights on. Am I really bright? Maybe my lights are brighter.
Well, he has the light on.
I mean, I can kill some lights here. We all don't have a circular device to broadcast light on our faces, so.
Brant does.
Brant the key does. Oh, and I can go into incognito. The murderer.
Anybody's gonna roll the dice on trying to get that Metroid Prime from Walmart?
No, I don't think I'll take the risk.
Hey man, they were doing it in Target also, so it's going around.
Oh my god, I'm opening everything, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I got that Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, the Walmart one for 20, I think. No, it was 25. I got it for 20 because they gave me a $5 off.
Right.
Thing. And I rattled it, and I was like, I think there's a disc in there, but I still opened it.
Yeah.
Your top spin scared me, Cesar, so I'm like holding it up to the light. I'm looking for the PlayStation logo on the inside of the ring and everything.
I mean, mine, I never been.
I look like I'm being abducted by aliens. What the fuck? I'm looking at the stream. It doesn't look like that.
I mean, you got a bright light above your
head. All right, fine. I'll tone down the light. Apparently, it's not.
I turned down mine. I don't know if it's making a difference.
It's that bad. I think it's where it usually is.
Is it? Is it? Did you make changes to OBS?
Turn the light up. We can't hear you. I mean, we can't see you.
Everybody's telling you don't go into the light, so.
Maybe I moved my seat back further. Don't go in the light. We need you here.
All right, so it's funny that they tell you these changes to the worst person to tell it to, because you would literally spend this whole 2 hours troubleshooting.
Yes. So. Please, God, I will try to fix it.
I'm the person that's like, well, I don't give a fuck. I'll figure it out.
Fuck it. Deal with it.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
So. I'm scrambling like.
KT says it's not bad. It's better than usual. So I'm not sure. I think we took it as a negative aspect. I guess it feels like it's a. Are we getting Discord video quality?
This is the KT emoji.
I don't know, man.
I'm walking like an Egyptian instead. Oh god, it's just 80 songs references the whole time.
Oh man, it's the best ending of JoJo.
I was about to say this is y'all's JoJo really lore, right? With all the songs.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Dirty Pair right now, though.
Dirty Pair.
But what was the other one, Brant? That Diamond is Unbreakable is pretty close with Savage Garden.
Yeah.
Because I was like, damn, I forgot all about Savage Garden, and I just started watching JoJo, and it's like, damn, they just brought that shit back. Like it's like 1997, 98 again.
Oof. I don't know that damn what is it? Bloody Stream opening is one of my favorites.
Dun, 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 yeah, that's probably the best opening. Next to the Diamonds Unbreakable one, that one's good too.
Yeah.
Can I go back to 97, 98 and know what I know now? Like everything's gonna be okay. But then I still have to go through.
Hell, I'd go back. Why not?
Yeah, but you're like one. You're pooping in diapers and again you don't even have to worry about going to the bathroom.
You're just shitting yourself.
And I can play my favorite. I can play my favorite game on release. And it's released.
You won't even be old enough for Days Gone when it comes
out. Days Gone.
I can play my favorite game.
Days fucking gone.
Whoever gets to go back, buy us all copies of Panzer Dragoon Saga sealed and Magic Knight Ray Earth and everything else we can't get.
You know what's funny is that when I was working at Winn-Dixie, they got into the whole game where PlayStation was really hot, right? And they had the little turnstile where they sold PS1 games. And I bought my copy of Castlevania. I bought my copy Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which was the greatest hit one, sealed from them for $20. So
And the greatest hits series was great. Why don't we have a greatest hits series anymore on anything? Probably because Mario Kart makes MPDs month after month after month all these years later.
Month after month.
What, 14 years later? 13 years later? No, it's 10 years old, right? The original, the Wii U one is 10 years old? Yeah. I'm trying to accelerate.
Yeah, switch it up sometimes, man. Switch to 9.
Switch to 9. Switch to...
It's fine. It's fine. So I guess the plan is we're going to get through the show semi-quickly so we can maybe toss around the idea of playing something tonight, depending on what time we finish up here.
We're going to want to do some...
Let's knock it out.
We're going to want to do some...
Because I know the squad won't be able to stream like we normally do tomorrow, so...
Well, you guys can. I know it'll be probably you...
Let's say the squad. Oh. I mean, it'd just be -1. I mean... Me, Brand can do Marvel Rivals. I can probably do that for a couple of hours, so I'm okay with that.
So Buish and I were talking about that. That's a couple rounds for him type thing, like not an all-nighter. So maybe I'll do some of that with him and then jump to Infinite. Halo
if Buish
Infinite.
is available, that's fine. I mean, fuck it. You're the only anti-Warzone person here. I'll do Warzone again and be unhappy. So
he didn't like Call of Duty either. It's worn thin on him. He's got another group he jumps in with and doesn't enjoy.
We still have not done Prop Hunt yet, so...
He does enjoy Prop Hunt.
I would need him to show me Prop Hunt, so...
All right, let's do this damn thing. I don't record any of that. It's just on the YouTube and the Twitches. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 334 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and stage lighting podcast. Come to us, figure out how to illuminate your set. Cesar, what's the greatest set you've ever been on? Lit or non-lit, as the kids would say.
I think remember when I went to that phase where I went to like every alternative concert like maybe 3 or 4 years ago? There was a lot of good stages on that one, so...
Yes, it may have been pre-COVID though, so you think 3 or 4 years ago is not that far.
5 or
something.
Yeah,
it's much further back than we all remember.
You know what I meant. It was several years ago because I haven't frequented any concerts recently because that's kind of been out the wayside. So, I mean, it's funny because I just saw the one on TV advertised for Shinedown and Bush in Atlanta, and I was like, I would probably go see that.
I would see some Bush.
So, yeah, I would see some Shinedown as well. So I was like,
I haven't seen Bush in a while. Brant,
well done. Yeah.
What's the most lit stage you've been on? You ever been in a play? Brant, have you ever been in a play?
Remember, he wants to make sure you clicked record.
I did click record. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
did.
Yep. I guess I could have told Kirby that when I see recording started by Richard up top.
Brant looks like a locked Mortal Kombat character. That must have been when you had the lights off. That's what it was. Challenger. Yeah. Challenger awaits.
All the world is indeed a stage, and we are merely players, sir, performers and portrayers.
Audience, sometimes the audience, sometimes the backdrop. Lots of comedy, lots of tragedy.
All tragedy. No comedy.
All tragedy, no comedy.
Comedy can be tragedy.
Wish says he came into Bush and he's heard enough. Wish is a Bush.
Wish is the Bush.
Yep.
He often likes to be a Bush when we play Warzone.
You take out the double E's.
It's true.
You take out the double E's, he's a Bush. So.
He's a Bush.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the boob.
And he does have a machine head.
Better than the rest?
Oh.
Yeah, green to red.
Machine head?
Yes, I have been in a play to answer your question before.
What was the last play you were in, Brant?
I couldn't tell you. It's been too long, even for even though I'm like 12 years old, as they would say.
Been just like 2 years ago when you went to Performing Arts.
12 years ago was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Oedipus Rex, that's what he was doing.
Brand over here trying not to laugh out loud at Bush, where you decided to join. That's exactly it.
Exactly it.
Tonight's news: Sega account ? I may or may not have already sold my soul to Sega.
I have yet to do so.
Man, I threw them everything. They got all my data. Can't wait for them.
Everybody else has for me, so it doesn't really matter. So
might as well give it to Sega, right?
I'll give him my social security number. I get notifications in my emails all the time about the T-Mobile breach. My social security number is still floating around, so I don't even care
Yeah, I
anymore.
was also a T-Mobile customer at the time. I'm no longer.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. A turning point for game pricing. That also deserves a question mark. Xbox Developer Direct. That was exciting.
Question mark.
Sure, question mark. More games on NSO.
Yay.
Just a yay. We don't get any sort of punctuation. Exclamation point.
I mean, we get an interesting Nintendo title that's never been released here, right? So
okay, here we go. It's always been a bit to do question mark after some of these things, right? Mm-hmm. Do we assign punctuation based off of our excitement level for said news story?
Are we reading punctuation like it's Anchorman?
Yes. And Richard Ledbetter, like I mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago. Exclamation point. Question mark.
Question mark?
Brant just left us. Brant, you're a giant Skype logo.
I'm here.
He'll be back. Show. He'll be back. He'll be all right.
I'm here.
He's all right.
That's it.
All right, there we go. Yeah. If Foobarred the stream's going to look crazy for a minute.
So, yeah, look, Brant has got like the world's oldest Mac, and it's still kicking, so you got to give him.
Brant, I'm proud of that world's oldest Mac.
Yeah.
What's the battery like on that thing?
No disrespect.
Yeah, it's not.
Pretty decent.
It's good.
He's got a Mac that he can actually fucking upgrade versus what we got now, so.
Yeah. I looked at the battery replacement for my refurbished one that I just purchased, and the battery cycles, according to macOS, tell me it's fine, but there's certain times where it'll be like I charge it overnight and I pull it up and it will not boot. It gives me the flashing battery thing, and I'm like, what the fuck? All I have to do is plug it into power for half a second and boot it, and it fires up, and I'm good. It's like it needs I've reset the SMC chip, I think is what it's called on the Mac OS. But it's either something between the logic board or it could be the battery. I don't know. I think the battery would be the easiest or cheapest fix, but it's still like $100. And the battery has it's not even double-sided tape. It's like some sort of adhesive on there, so you have to drop this adhesive remover, like some sort of acid in there, and that's why they've rated it as not repairability. You know how like iFixit rates how can you get into this easily enough? Apple says it's not replaceable. Like you have to pay them $600 to get a new battery, but
and we haven't brought this up on the show yet, but you saw that iFixit's pairing with Microsoft to fix the Series consoles.
Yeah,
they're selling the parts for it. Yeah,
and we have one of those locations near us, I believe. It's through.
There is one in Atlanta. That's not too far.
It's like You Break iFix or something like that, and they're partnering through Xbox for official repair centers. Yeah, take it in. Got a burned out HDMI port or something. They'll replace it. It's pretty cool. Where did we leave off? More games on NSO, and last but not least, hopefully from a certain Megan Spur, we have your Game Pass Wave 2 titles. Always Megan. Always spurring. Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee. Brant, thank you for building this glorious news.
Yep, as always.
Should be quick and easy. That's what they always say. The other voice you hear is our resident page master and lore master, Cesar Concepcion II. Cesar, welcome.
Hello. Hey.
How are you?
My knee hurts. Outside of that, everything's good.
Your knee hurts?
Yeah.
It's a slight
pain. I got that runner's knee.
Which one?
So I got on the left knee. I had to go. I bought
Thank you for clarifying. I needed that detail.
Of course. That's very important when they decide which knee to cut off for my robot body. But
yeah, they're like kidneys. You only need one.
Absolutely. Yeah. But no. Outside of that,
testicles.
Everything's pretty good.
Cesar, I've come to a determination.
You prefer two in both cases.
You prefer two in both of those. Yeah. Kidneys, knees, or testicles? You can only have
in all theoretical.
You can only have a complete set of two of those three things. Which one you can afford?
Yeah. Which one do you think is going to be?
I mean, I'm done using one of those sets. I still need the other two. I'm good. That's up to y'all. Y'all have to decide. My answer already answered mine.
Oh, Lord.
I'm good. I'll Tom Green it all day long. I'll make only right turns. Cesar, I've come to a determination. Like you, I am going to learn Japanese. I am tired of hunting and overpaying for NTSC game prices. I am hooked. There's a subsect of YouTube live streaming, and I watch them when they've been recorded, where people go to hard offs and book offs. It doesn't sound good when I'm, in English. But it's like a second in Charles here, maybe. It's like books, games, TVs, monitors, guitars. There's all sorts of like nice stuff, and there's a billion of these in Japan. He has an app where he tracks like which ones he checks into. There's like 900 hard offs. I'm like, Japan's not massive, right? How are there this many of these? And it's like a thrift store, like electronic donation. I've talked on the show about the Grid, that specialized electronics Goodwill in Charlotte, North Carolina. Imagine 900 of those being on the island that you're on. And the fun part of this is he like buses or trains. I need to mention the channel is called 4 a.m. Laundry. And I don't know if he's a reseller. It doesn't really seem like it. It seems like he's just adding to his collection, but he'll compare it to eBay prices and Yahoo. Was it Yahoo Auctions is big in Japan like eBay?
Yahoo Auctions is huge. You have to have a Japanese credit card to participate and address. Yeah. So I've tried.
You've also tried Yahoo Auctions?
You can use third-party sites like Buy and Syndico. They will buy on your behalf from Amazon, Yahoo Auctions, and
ship it to you,
eBay, and all sorts of
but these videos are like 25 to 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and he travels by train and bicycle. Like they have these zip-up pouches on the back of the bike. And the thing that stuck out to me is like they don't lock them. He found Fellowship of the Rings on Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. He found the widescreen VHS. It's a 2-tape version of the widescreen VHS. And he just put it in the back of this bag on the bike, and like it wasn't locked or anything. It just nobody was going to take it.
But that's usually how it is. Usually amazing. If you leave something behind, somebody will run after you and try to get it back to you.
That's amazing. It's simple human empathy, right?
Yeah.
But I get the thrill of the hunt, like how Goodwill used to feel here, like as he goes from place to place and just what he finds, and like games that are super expensive here. Dragon Quest games are a dime a dozen. The NES or the Famicom, Super Famicom ones, they're all over the place. And there's so many great, like Paper Mario 1000-Year Door, GameCube, $12, $15 all the time. And they have those super cute, like the Japanese GameCube cases. They're those cardboard sleeves. Oh man, it's such a small footprint. Those are so cool looking.
I can get one if I have access to one if you want to see it. So
I've got some on my shelf. I actually have some surplus. So that's where we might have to talk later. I think I have a couple of extra Japanese GameCube games.
I got Tales of Symphonia Japanese GameCube. So
you have both discs. Last time I opened my Tales of Symphonia for GameCube, I only had one disc. I had to remedy that.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. That's weird.
I bought a Japanese Wii. I figured I would knock both birds out with one stone and just get a Japanese Wii. Plays GameCube.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it did. It did the job. But the channel is called 4 a.m. Laundry, and strategy guides. Their strategy guides are so affordable, and there's so many of them over there, and they're smaller. Like they have a smaller footprint than ours do, kind of like the GameCube cases. But I don't know. I'm hooked on that content. It would be that would be a dream come true.
Not only that, they
take care of their stuff. It's all amazing quality. It's like mint.
You buy something and it's like used quality or
junk. He goes in the junk section. It's like
junk.
Mint.
Yeah. Sometimes it says junk and you pick it up and there's like a tiny bit, like a bent corner on like one page or something, but it's immaculate. It's
Brant is the recent owner of a procurer rather of a Sharp Twin Famicom. I've seen him like find some of those, and you have a very competitive price to get it over here. I would say it was like you were shopping there. I think you did a great job on your find.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I would just love to like bike from shop to shop like that and just look around for stuff. Time to learn Japanese. How difficult is it?
If you do hiragana katakana first before you even start. So that's my advice to you.
Cesar, I'll throw you a compliment as well. You read things about as quickly as he does. Like when he picks up stuff, and he went to school over there and has lived over there for quite some time, it seems. But like when I hold up something and you start reading it, it's about the rate he was doing. So
yeah,
you're doing well.
Yeah, it's the kanji that kills me, man. That's the problem. So, but I mean, I've learned that I have the Kindle app on my iPad, and Kindle has the ability has a Japanese dictionary in there, so it has the ability where I highlight kanji, it would translate into hiragana and tell me what the meaning is, and that's how I've been picking up on some of the kanji. So
you're learning you have to learn 2 written languages. Essentially.
I mean, hiragana, katakana, and then kanji. Those are the 3 written languages. So
I gotcha. I don't know if I'll actually start this quest. It's just something I'm like.
Katakana, you have a leg up because katakana is their version for foreign words. So like a lot of the stuff they put in katakana is just English stuff that it just reads out to something they can relate to, like your Startermoto and stuff like that. Yeah.
Or
they would
sauerkraut
have in there. Yeah.
Or a bidet.
Maybe. Because the toilet is benki, and then benjo is a bathroom. So
I think I knew benki because we had that toilet racing game on Steam. I think it's benki something.
Yeah. So I always laugh when I watch something in Japanese, and they always refer to the benki for like it's a good bit for like 5 minutes. Like, damn, they're just really going in on this toilet thing. So.
Is toilet humor a big deal?
It was something I watched. I don't think so. So.
The guy's big on visual novels, so I think that's something you do as well for like practice and reading and things like that.
Yeah, believe it or not, I mean there's some like rare kanji that's in the Steins Gate visual novel. Like there's some stuff that does not appear often in other things. So like you'll see some stuff on certain different visual novels.
So you're memorizing symbols?
You get in the habit of looking at stroke order. So if you look at the stroke order, and there's what they call radicals. Radicals are like pieces of kanji that show up often, but stroke order and radicals are very important. So
what have I done?
Hey, man,
I haven't done anything. I'm just listening. I want to know.
You're focusing in on 2 words specifically.
That's part of learning the language too. So
yeah, I'm looking at this library of games. I'm like, man, all these like holy grails in English are common and affordable.
Your easiest ones is to learn hiragana and then play Pokemon games, because there's very, very little kanji in Pokemon games. It's mostly hiragana because it's aimed towards elementary, middle school.
Okay, yeah.
And then they typically there's only like a certain amount of kanji you learn as you grow it through the school system.
I'll tell Buish we can start up a Japanese hiragana Pokemon.
Which was funny because I saw somebody on Twitch the other day that was streaming a Pokemon, the OG Pokemon, and was playing it in Welsh. So, and I was like, man, this is really weird and wild when I saw them streaming it. So,
excuse my ignorance, but is Welsh not just English, some sort of English?
You would think
it's a form of English.
Welsh extra fucking consonants and shit.
Really?
You do have the longest name for a town. Have you seen that? In oh my, I'll send it to you.
So
you pay extra to put on the back of a jersey.
Possibly, but as Bram mentioned, remember England is known for just taking over territories, and Wales is one of those ones that a lot of people are not friendly to the Londoners and stuff like that. But they still speak the Welsh language.
Sun never sets on Union Jack.
Yeah.
There's a Steam like set of games that I've had for. There it is. Learn Japanese to Survive. Like I've got a bunch of those that I've gotten through Humble Bundles or whatever it is, Fanatical maybe. Complete your collection. Are any of those good?
Yeah, those are fine. I mean, your most important thing is just getting in the habit of learning, right? That's usually the hardest hurdle. So it's like whatever you find, it's like you gotta like retrain your mind to like grow.
I'm pretty good at recognizing patterns. That's why I think I can master the stroke order.
I have no issues with like the hiragana and katakana with that. So like kanji's a little bit different. Kanji
is it older? Is that the thing?
Not necessarily. It's different. Different forms of writing. Hiragana seems to be like the more basic form. Katakana.
It's for foreign words. Is what katakana is for.
Is foreign words, and kanji is kind of like the everyday. You'll see a lot of kanji in everyday
I'm sorry, Brent, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Is katakana like a post-war influence with to the loser does not go the spoils, essentially, as far as like influence and defining things and culture and stuff like that?
Instead of integrating a word, a lot of people have this argument to this day because some people don't think katakana is necessary. They say if you just put in hiragana, they can probably figure out the word is legit or not in their vocabulary. But it's like gemu. Gemu is like GE, and then you do like a little slash and mu is game. It's just a foreign word because game is they don't have a word for like game in Japanese. It just uses katakana and big game.
Is this like biru? I watched a video where they were like, they were cooking dinner and they were like, we forgot the biru.
And that would be in katakana because it's whatever the equivalent of the foreign word is. They don't have a.
Okay.
Because I mean, like you could use osake. Osake is just any alcohol. This is general alcohol. It's not a specific alcohol. So, but biru's beer
is specifically beer. Yeah, because they were reaching in a cooler and they cracked open an ice cold can. So
yeah,
I knew it was biru.
So, but you'll have different words that they use in katakana and they'll spell in katakana like taco. Taco is for squid. I told you all that before.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And the game is like Save Me, Mr. Taco, or something like that.
Yeah, and that's in katakana. Tacos in katakana, and sai is a rhinoceros, and that's also in katakana.
Umi, are these the ones you teach us sometimes? Sami.
Umi is Japanese. That's a sea. Sami is Japanese. That's shark. So,
shark.
Yeah.
I thought I was getting close. I'm definitely lost.
That's how you recognize it when you look at the different languages. Usagi is in it's in hiragana. That's rabbit. Yeah. Yeah. And I told you shishi is lion. Yeah.
Yep. All right, we got to actually get to this news. I way fucking derailed us.
Neko is cat.
Neko is cat.
Inu is dog.
I know Neko.
Yeah.
What is dog?
Dog. Inu.
Oh, like Shiba Inu.
Mm-hmm.
That's your Japanese lesson for this week. Tune in next week.
I sent you that a picture of that sign. That sign is humongous.
The village.
For our listeners, if you just type in the longest town name in the world, it pulls up this Welsh sign that I don't know has to be
so
several feet long.
Holy shit! Oh, I've seen people taking pictures next to this thing.
Next to it,
yeah, it's got the pronunciation guide underneath it.
So I'll leave on this before we derail on the Japanese.
We've been derailed.
People ask, before I forget, people ask why there's 3 written languages. It's like there's different words. Like I told y'all before, like ame could either be rain or it could be candy, and there's different kanji for both, and that's how you know it's pronounced the same. It's a little bit different enunciation depending on the beginning and the start of the word, but the kanji is how you tell if you're talking about rain or candy. And then the same thing with like hanashi is to speak, but it also can mean story. So that's why you have to have kanji, because they both read the same, but the kanji tells you what is in reference.
Does it override the other two? Like it
you would know when you look at the kanji. No. Yeah, there's only when it's kanji, you know it's that word.
I got you.
If you see it in hiragana, you know it's this. So it's like it's just training after you get on there for a while. The way I describe it, it's not that. I mean, that's if you want to go full fluency. I don't think you're gonna have that. You can probably get to level 3 and be. I think 5 is like 1. It's 1 through 5. I think you can get to level 3 in the middle and be fine playing video games. You don't have to be fully fluent. They don't use hard kanji in those games. They typically keep it about the same.
Friend of the show, Diana, and I were talking about this not super long ago, and she took the first 2, I think. She did not know that you were studying last time you guys shared company. We're in the same proximity.
Yeah.
She was unawares of your studies. Let's get into this news. That's been your Japanese update this week.
We discussed it. And
you did discuss it.
Previously, not past year, but I don't think she remembers.
That's right. Shocker.
Yeah. I'll leave it on that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to be negative.
That's fine. Yep.
So,
Yep. Beautiful. This comes from videogameschronicle.com and Chris Scullion. Beautiful.
They also call cigarettes tobacco.
I like that one too. Sega has launched Sega Account, an online profile with in-game bonuses. Players who register will get a unique outfit for Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza, and Hawaii. Sega Account is described by the company as an online profile that gives you access to a host of benefits when playing Sega and Atlas titles and using their online services. According to Sega, players who create a Sega account will get access to exclusive bonuses and will be able to link their accounts over numerous platforms. They will also receive news on the latest Sega and Atlas games, events, and promotions to encourage players to sign up for a Sega account, like I did. You said damn, like you're not going to?
Yeah, because I clicked on it and it wants my age verification immediately. My old ass. Like,
so I do like this. I've done this. Maybe I do that. They're going to give you some DLC for the Like a Dragon series, which is going to include Kiryu outfit DLC and Majima. At the moment, players can link their account to 4 platforms: Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam, with Epic Games to follow. Although only one game can currently be linked to a Sega account, the Japanese version of Phantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis version 2. I told you guys this. Like, what's up with all the Phantasy Star stuff right now? Because as soon as I signed up for the Sega account, that's what they're trying to give me immediately. You don't create a password or anything with this. They want your email, and they're going to send you a code every time, which I actually approve of this. It's like built-in two-factor, right? Nobody's trying to spam their way through a password. It's just, here's my email. It's going to send me a code. Reply back with this code and get into your account. And I linked those things. It was real fast. I probably did it in like 5 or 6 minutes to add all those different verifications, and they're in there. So hopefully, Sega's on the comeback, and they've spread out across Atlas titles, RPGs. Sonic is better than ever, apparently. I looked when I was organizing PS5 games the other day. I got 3 Sonic PS5 games. I'm like, holy shit, what happened here? I'm that person now. I'm Richard the Hedgehog.
You're not the only one. I'll pull up there and say, damn, I had this game on Switch.
Mm-hmm. So it's a good way to unify that stuff. And if they're going to do stuff like this, and it makes it easy, like Call of Duty we talk about, right? You need one Activision ID. It doesn't even matter about the other stuff, like do you have it on Xbox? Do you have it on PlayStation? That stuff, it makes it easier, and I can see Sega going down this path. And I'm always down for some DLC, right? Like some free incentives to do this stuff. Are you guys going to sign up for a Sega account?
I'm doing it right now, so.
Yeah.
Brant, join us, you coward.
Soon.
Was I going to go out of my way when you sent me the link? No. Now that I'm here, and yes.
Yeah, I sent y'all a screenshot. It went out, and it's like I signed up immediately because I was just sitting there.
I think I was doing important stuff. That's why I was like, I'll worry about it later.
Not. Anything else on the Sega account? Find me at Highway 81 Beast on the Sega account.
Fortunately, I've enabled 2 form factor on everything, so now every time I connect to another account, I got to have another authenticator code for everything. So this is unfortunate for me.
Next up from Jordan Midler, also at videogameschronicle.com, VGC.com. There is hope that GTA 6 will cost as much as $100, says an analyst. Is that really a hope? Is that a sincere hope? Matthew Ball of Apilion has released his State of Video Gaming in 2025 report, which muses on how the video game industry could change in the forthcoming year. One large focus of the report is Grand Theft Auto 6, which will doubtlessly be the biggest video game release of the year, should it make its planned 2025 release date. According to the report, there's hope within the video game industry that publisher Take-Two will use the unprecedented excitement around GTA 6 in order to bump up the default price of the game to $100. $100 US dollars.
Go.
It's believed that if Take-Two took this step with GTA 6, a game that will sell incredibly well regardless of the price, then others could follow suit and potentially aid in recovering spiraling development costs. Boo.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
That's not going to happen the way they think.
GTA publisher Take-Two was one of the first to raise the price of games from $60 to $70 in 2020, using the transition to the next generation of consoles as an excuse. While it is likely that GTA 6 will be released with a $100 version as part of a lineup of various special editions, it's currently expected that the standard case game, will be $70.
Yeah, that's my guess too. I think it'd just be the digital copies, like everything else. Like every Ubisoft game has like a $110 copy.
Right, gold edition. That's Ubisoft's patent, right? Gaming budgets have exploded in recent years. Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna err on Cesar's side where he keeps mentioning the AAA bubble that's gonna burst. We will not see $100 SKUs.
I don't want anybody to lose their job, but it's coming.
And I feel like the the Microsoft showcase that's coming up, in 1 or 2 stories? Oh, it's the next story.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think they showed us that there are more contained, smaller titles that are going to be great video games that are not specifically $100 titles at retail, right?
Mm.
This was like the most exciting Xbox Developer Direct, I think, in a while. We're starting to get those roadmaps from Xbox.
And they brought it, man.
They really did. We're getting that roadmap of and they're sticking to these release dates. It's like, every 5 or 6 months we get one of these roadmaps where it's like, here's what's coming the next 5 or 6 months. Here's what you have to look forward to this next quarter.
And you saw like we're gonna get to it here shortly, and we probably can start now.
Go into it. I was done with the
you saw the
GTA
Ninja
stuff.
Gaiden. They announced Ninja Gaiden 4, and that's being published by Xbox Games. But you see, that's coming to not just Xbox consoles,
right?
But their big exclusive is it's on Game Pass. That's their deal.
That's their get.
Like everything they had everything on that developer show, every one of those games is on
had the PlayStation. Well, yeah, but they also had the PlayStation logo there, letting you know that.
Yeah. Same thing with Doom. Because for half a second, we keep up on and stuff, right? For half a second, I was like, I think Doom's only for Xbox this go around. And then here's all the PS5 releases and signups and pre-orders and stuff. So.
I mean,
but they're big. Like
said, they advertise it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like what Cesar's saying, their big draw is, hey, day one Game Pass. So
the only date, they started the show with Ninja Gaiden 4, right? And we all knew that was Ninja Gaiden. I saw Koei Tecmo and I saw Team Ninja, and I was like, is this going to be dead or alive? It was rumored there was going to be a long-running Japanese series game announced. Was this the one? This is the one that was rumored? Yeah.
This is the perfect one, right? Because
it is.
Gaiden had its resurgence on Xbox, right?
It did.
An Xbox title of an Xbox title you can think of, right? So
when the Ninja Gaiden demo came in for Xbox, we sold a lot of Xboxes based off that pre-order. That was one of those demos we popped in. Like I've talked about the Resident Evil 4 story for GameCube before. God of War, when the God of War demo disc came in, I was like, oh my God, what is this game? And Platinum Games is the perfect studio to partner with for this, because Itagaki's gone from Team Ninja, so this is not the Team Ninja of 20 years ago. It's not.
I think he's still with Tencent, right? With his own studio again.
I don't know.
There was rumors about him like shuttering down, and they came back. It's like, no, we're still around. They just haven't announced any games they're making right now.
Because they announced the studio in like 21 or 22, and then the rumors were they were going away, and then right after that, you're right.
Devil's Third. Yeah.
Devil's Third. Which I heard was halfway decent.
Yep.
But they start off with Ninja Gaiden 4, and then so we didn't get a concrete date for that because that's a new announcement. It said fall 2025.
Yeah, just fall.
But then right after that was Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Shadow Drop.
Yeah. Which is like, so Ninja Gaiden Black was like a director's cut of sorts of the original Ninja Gaiden. That came out for original Xbox. And then Ninja Gaiden Sigma came out for PS3 and was kind of like the PlayStation port of Ninja Gaiden Black.
And I think they made the Sigma games a little bit more easier, right? I think that's the difference between the two, because Black tends to go more into the hardcore.
I think it had both.
Sigma was more of a variety.
Because Black had Ninja Dog setting, I think, which was like an easier one, I believe. Yeah. But all of this one's going to have accessibility settings too, where he'll automatically parry if your health gets low, and you'll get extra potions and things like that. Well, that's Ninja Gaiden 2. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which we didn't know Ninja Gaiden 4 was being announced. So this game was also a super surprise and was available. That was their available today day and date surprise thing. And it looks great. Yep. Like I remember when this came out for 360, this was a huge 360 title at the time.
This one, it got like super bloody, right? I remember the first one not being as bloody, but the second, like this 2 on 360, I remember being like
the first one for Xbox, you were cutting heads off and things like that.
Yeah, but I don't. That might have been the difference with the Black one, because I just played Sigma like 2 days ago, and it's like I'm cutting heads off, but it's like this one, if you play Black 2 Gaiden, it's just like it's squirting blood.
Oh God, it's much more gory.
Like, the head comes off in Ninja Gaiden Sigma, but it's like it's not like
Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah, it's gushing. Yeah. I was like, damn, this thing's extra bloody for whatever reason. I was like, sheesh.
That was a cool announcement. Was next South of Midnight or Expedition 33? I can't remember.
Next it was South of
Midnight, which since that game was announced has been like on my radar as one of the most anticipated games.
Yeah,
That's
but
that's from Compulsion Games, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like they've showed this about 4 or 5 times now, though. I'm just wondering when it's gonna actually. They've had it baking for quite a long time.
They have.
That art direction though is pretty interesting. It looks really
Love
really
the
nice.
Cajun influence and like the bayous and stuff, like the catfish talking to you, and it's the atmosphere.
It's like a
just
real catfish,
seems
man.
awesome. It did look like a real
Catfish
catfish,
do that. Yeah.
a magical, real magical catfish.
Just like a real catfish.
But we got more of cannot remember the protagonist's name. We got more of her combat style, which is like weaving. So you're gonna have to break down enemy defenses and things like that with different weaving arts.
Hey,
Hazel.
That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Looks incredible. I'm trying to I would glance at that one, but I couldn't look away. It's like I need to know more about this game. Traversal looks fun. This looks like an awesome game that, and honestly, everything outside of Doom is not something I would have expected from Xbox 4 or 5 years ago. And it feels like it's filling a niche that platform really doesn't have. Like, it doesn't have an identity with these types of games. These are the types of games we would expect from Nintendo or Sony, right? And I like seeing this stuff from Xbox.
Yeah.
Next up was Expedition 33. It's like Clara Obscura is the full name, I think. Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which is coming to everything, if I remember right. Yeah,
That's correct.
but it's day one.
This is kind of like the spiritual successor to like Lost Odyssey, and
turn-based.
It looked really
it
good.
Sounds like a French studio from when I was listening to the interview.
Yes, I believe so.
But the graphics just look insane on this thing. It truly looks next gen. I don't know if we need to mention a Ninja Gaiden 2 Black was redone in Unreal Engine 5. I think that was one of the big first things they showed. Mm-hmm. So maybe that was their way of learning Unreal Engine 5, maybe for the next one. I don't think Draw on Grave is on the show, but remember when they announced that, I think he joined us right after that. And Draw on Grave is really excited about Expedition 33. That was super high up on their list.
Yeah, I mean the whole business statement from that studio was to show that turn-based RPGs are not dead. So
I'm down for that.
Western-based turn-based RPGs. Let me rephrase that. So Persona's been kind of hitting that niche for a while and changing it up.
And Metaphor, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Atlas has been carrying that load. And I should drop back and kind of reiterate some of this. Xbox does what they call a developer direct. So you're talking to the people that are making the games. And at the very end, they have sizzle reel of bloopers and stuff they wanted to say and them laughing and cutting up. And it's real. It seems like a behind the scenes thing. So it's not just, this is a press release, right? This is you're backing this platform. Maybe you're a Game Pass subscriber. Maybe you're thinking about being a Game Pass subscriber. Here's the type of experiences you can expect from our platform. But there's also like a candidness to some of these interviews, and the Claire Obscure team was talking about, it was one person and they had a game idea and they reached out to another person. They started brainstorming some stuff back and forth, and the whole concept just built out of that. And hearing stories like that, the Doom one, we'll wrap up with Doom, but like there were 4 or 5 developers that they were walking through the hallway like West Wing style. Did y'all watch this? Did y'all watch this clip? As I'm looking at it, they're walking through the hallway West Wing style, like people are falling in behind them. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And then they walked into a big room with the rest of the team and they announced the date that it was going to come out. And I was like, you know what? This is kind of cool. We hear all about how hard it is for these devs and crunch and job loss and stuff like that. And here they are being able to announce to this, a live stream on YouTube and Twitch, the release date for their product and be enthused about it at the same time as everybody else. And it was a cool moment. What was the big thing with Doom? They said it's going to be like heavier, right? Like the whole,
Doom,
the Dark Ages.
Almost Titanfall mechanic where you get in the mech.
They said it was a single player, right? No multiplayer in this. So
you've got the mace, like the chain mace thing.
Mm-hmm.
They compared the first game as like a master of running and gunning, which, you would go into a room and it would be clearing out the room and strafing all around. Doom Eternal I've never played, but it was more platforming and like adventure style. And then they said this one is much more grounded. So if you were like a rogue or something like that in the first game, and then in the second game you were a warlock, and I think there was a magical element to that second Doom Eternal, I think it was. They said this one you're a tank. You're a big, heavy equipped character with the shield, and didn't the shield have like a saw thing coming out of it?
Yeah.
Yep.
But they also mentioned Avowed is coming out. Almost forgot about Avowed. Like nobody's talking about Avowed right now.
They usually ramp up their advertisements as it gets closer.
Yeah, and it'll be after this big show announcing all this other stuff. I thought this was a solid Xbox show. This was a lot more than we've gotten from them in some other ones, but they're, like I said, they're getting better at announcing this stuff and laying out this roadmap for you. Like here's what either you can join our platform and subscribe to, or they keep reiterating everything's an Xbox. Play here, play there. Day one on Game Pass. Cloud streaming, which I actually cloud streamed a game the other day and it was flawless. I'll speak on that later in games played, but that technology's come a long way since they first started messing with it. That was it, right? That's all they talked about?
Yep, that was it.
Avowed is February 18th for Xbox Series X, S, and the Xbox app for Windows PC, Battle.net, Steam, Cloud, and is also day one on Game Pass. Some exciting games coming to Xbox. The House of Halo. Foreshadowing. Nintendo Switch Online. This comes from Chris Scollion at VideoGamesChronicle.com. I'll just read these three games. Fatal Fury 2, Super Ninja Boy, and Sute Hakun. Did I pronounce that correctly? A Super Famicom game. Are all
Sute Hakun.
All available now. I updated my app. It's a tradition every time I turn on the Switch, which is not often, is to go through every single one of my fucking go through each one of those, and they don't all fit on one because I've also got the Japanese ones from my Japanese account, so I can load in Famicom games and Super Famicom games. The Japanese cover art for Perfect Dark is way better than ours, by the way. It's a beautiful, beautiful cover art. And I updated those just to see what pops in. You've got a new game, like all the new Mega Man Game Boy games. I don't know how long ago that update was, but those all like filed in. I had 6 new Game Boy games in there. Fatal Fury 2 is for Super Nintendo. Well, they're all Super Nintendo, right? Yeah, they're all to Switch Online, SNES. I don't think I mentioned that. Fatal Fury 2, Super Ninja Boy, which I didn't know what this... It's like a turn-based fighting game. Like you're going through an overworld and then you get in a random encounter, Dragon Quest style, like first person, and then you choose a selection and then you go into like a Streets of Rage, like a side-scrolling brawler type thing. And I'm not sure how the mechanics of it work, but the little clip they showed when they announced this was like a different type game. I do not have this for Super Nintendo. I look to see because it sounds super generic. Super Ninja Boy for Super Nintendo. Not exactly.
Because the one was like I played that before. It's like an overworld map. It's like an RPG, and then you load up in a side-scrolling battle, right?
Yeah.
Like you just said.
Yeah, and I was kind of shocked looking at that clip. Like, wow.
It gives you like a couple of it's 2-player base, if I remember correctly, and
I was wondering if that second
like
player was an NPC or if it was somebody that could move around.
I think they give you like a certain amount of time you got to complete the battle in before they complete it, and then they like award you experience points or something like that. I think the gimmick was like the battle was side scrolling, so.
And it's timer based, like however quickly you can defeat the enemy.
So, if I remember playing it. It's been a long time since I played it.
It looks interesting. And then is there any notes on this game? Because I watched that clip. It's a puzzle game. That's Sute Hakun. Sute Hakun is a Nintendo published puzzle game developed by Nintendo R&D 2 and Indies Zero, with this Nintendo Switch Online edition marking its first official release in the West. Players control a glass bird-like character called Hakun, who can suck up colored liquid and inject it into transparent blocks to push them in different directions. A standard Switch Online subscription, blah, 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 blah. That's just the rest of the stuff. So did y'all watch the clip of the bird, the puzzle game?
Mm-hmm.
So you had to collect these crystals, and you would jump on a switch to change the color of the paint, and you would draw the paint out of the bucket and fill like something you could kick, maybe like a tile, and you would kick you would move the tile based off the color, like up and down or left and right, to get one of the crystals or whatever. Then you would go back and suck up a different color and paint the tile a different color, and then that tile would move a different way, and you could go after the other crystal. So it looked like one of those, almost like Portal, right? Like the concept is super simple, and then it could just build layer upon layer and get even more complicated, and like as those puzzles go on. Was it simple to learn, hard to master?
I think that's what they were advertising.
Yeah, the mechanics of it are pretty straightforward, but the application of it can throw you for a loop and really have some head scratchers. I had never heard of this game before, so I love when it's a discovery like this. Oh, last but not least, I've been nonstop talking.
I got it.
Give us the Megan Spurism of the week.
Yes, this is from Megan Spur.
I see a Resistance game in here. I'm excited.
There's this gets a little bit tricky here because they've added all of the different tiers now. I'm gonna try to go through these fairly quickly today. Lonely Mountain Snow Riders for Cloud Console and PC. This is for Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass.
Is that the sequel to Lonely Island?
Yes.
You go to Lonely Mountains.
You did
it. The Lonely Island.
The Lonely Mountains. Downhill, I think, was just the bicycle one, right?
Is that the same team?
Maybe.
Yes.
Snow Riders.
Then we have Flock. Game that's with Game Pass Standard. Gigantic Rampage Edition. Cloud Console and PC. Game Pass Ultimate, PC, and Standard.
That was the one they rescued, right? That was like a dead IP that they bought and brought it back.
A 5v5 MOBA hero shooter.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was like...
Okay. Was it abandoned because we already had too many of those? They didn't think it would be successful or something?
I don't remember the story. I remember we talked about it. So like some company came in there and bought the rights to it.
Interesting.
And it's been like dormant for a long time. And this is like a re-release of the original game.
Let's see. With Game Pass Standard, we have Kinitsugami, Path of the Goddess.
Is this the game I'm thinking of?
Just as a unique Japanese-inspired single-player Kagura action strategy game.
Is this the one that's kind of like Castlevania, like a Genesis side-scroller one? I copied and pasted the wrong thing.
Oh
yeah. I don't want to take up too much of Brand's time, but that Gigantic is it was released as free-to-play video game in 2017 for Windows and Xbox One. The servers were shut down a year later.
Oh, nice. It's an Xbox One salvage job.
Yeah, Abstraction Games and Art Games revived the game as a buy-to-play game named Gigantic Rampage Edition in 2024 for Windows, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S.
Let's see. Also with Standard, we have Magical Delicacy, Chia.
Chia.
That's also a Standard. The Case of the Golden Idol.
Which is, I heard it's very, very good. The Case of the Golden Idol is
I've heard it's good too. And I think there's a sequel that just came out, so that they may be building up for that.
We have Starbound with Game Pass Ultimate and Standard. Eternal Strands is coming to Cloud Console and PC January 28th for Game Pass Ultimate and PC. And that'll be available day one. Continuing also for January 28th. Game Pass Ultimate, Orcs Must Die, Death Trap. Shady Part of Me, January 29th. Game Pass Ultimate, PC, and Standard. Oh. Sniper Elite Resistance. This is your Resistance.
Yes, finally, Resistance coming to Xbox. Xbox fans rejoice.
Coming January 30th for Game Pass Ultimate and PC.
Kinitsukami is not what I thought it was, but this is a beautiful looking game.
That's like it's like pixel junk, like those.
You're thinking of that same thing. This is like a Devil May Cry looking It's like a 3D action game. Whatever it is that I'm thinking of is what you're thinking of also. Like it's something that came from the Genesis or the 32X or something. This is by the Devil May Cry studio.
Oh.
It looks good. It really looks good.
I've played it. So I played it on my ROG, and I've played it because this has been on Game Pass before.
Yes.
So
this is a re-release on Game Pass, and it came out on PS4, PS5, Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S.
It's very inspired like a MOBA game where you have a character that plays like third person, but you're going against a lot of enemies at once. So, but you have to like take down these bases and stuff like that to stop the enemies from coming forth.
What is the game we're thinking of? It's gonna drive me crazy now. Brian, continue. We derailed.
January 31st, Citizen Sleeper 2, Star Wars Vector, for Game Pass Ultimate and PC. Far Cry New Dawn, Cloud Console and PC, February 4th. That will be for, looks like all tiers as well, Ultimate, PC, and Standard. Then we got some DLC for Diablo 4.
Just a new season.
With Game Pass? Is it like skins or something?
No, they follow the same formula like Warzone, where they every
Seasons.
3 or 4 months is a new season. Yeah.
I think they're still doing that with Diablo 3 also.
It's not an official expansion, but it's just a new season.
I got you.
And then we'll go to the bottom here, leaving January 31st. We have Anucard, Before Forever, Darkest Dungeon, Death's Door, Manakit, Serious Sam, Siberian Mayhem, and all of these are...
Serious Sam's a good time.
Again, those are leaving January 31st. If you wish to keep them or buy them in your library, you can get up to 20% off if you buy them before then.
I wonder what the return is on that, because they've had that program for a while. I wonder how many people are like, man, I want to keep playing this. I'm gonna pay the 20%. I would like to see those numbers.
Oh, I'm sure there are people, just because they've had them in Game Pass already, or maybe they haven't finished, or maybe they realize they're leaving and they go to play it, and then just to keep it, they're like, I saved 20%, might as well.
They started it, and they don't want to lose their progress or come back to it. It's like, man, I got to keep going with this, even though it's leaving. Is that it for news? We did it.
That's news. All the news.
Brant, thank you for going out there and hitting the streets and covering your beat and compiling all that news for us too.
Yeah,
bringing all the news.
That's it. You did the Lord's work.
Yep. Good job, Brant.
Games played. Where do I want to start? I've been craving some racing games. You guys like cars? Not the animated film from Pixar. Life is a Highway.
I prefer planes.
I've never seen planes, and I've never seen
trains and automobiles.
No, I'm talking.
Now we're talking
Pixar's
movies.
Planes. Yeah.
So I had was it Forza Horizon 4 was one of the ones delisted, and I had bought like the Ultimate Mega Edition before it disappeared. So that's all. Every time I go on this, it's like great on Steam Deck, right? You always see those lists like, here's what's great to play on Steam Deck. Top 10 2024 Steam Deck games. It's always on there. It's like, fine. I've been chasing after these old Need for Speeds and trying to get a racing fix. So I downloaded that on the Steam Deck, and I guess I'd never played it before, so it started up a new save profile and all that. Those Forza Horizon games are a lot of fun. I haven't really dove deep into any of them, but I've probably got like 2 hours into this one, and it's just a lot of fun to pick up and play. And it's an open world, so you go from one race to the next, but it's all within the Horizon Festival is what the backdrop of the game is. And you'll just drive to a place and hit X, and you're playing whatever that is, and pick a car and go. The Steam Deck makes it perfect to like just pick up and play and put down. We've been talking about the difference between the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally, right? And any other type experience. It's power on Steam Deck. right? I'm done with the race. I don't really want to quit. I don't want to get out of there, but I'm going to pick it up in like 20 minutes. I just hit power on the top of it and it goes in sleep mode. And then I can just pick it right back up after the fact. That is a huge difference with that Steam OS. Segueing off of that, my kids and I were playing Minecraft the other day, as one does. They build houses and do all this kind of stuff, and I just like to mine. That's the best part to me. Like, give me a pickaxe and just let me go. And I found a cave this time, like digging super down. I made this long staircase, and I found a cave, and we're exploring the cave and stuff. But after that, they kept building, and I was like, let me try out the cloud gaming again. And Forza Horizon 5, so the sequel to the one I was talking about on Steam Deck, is one of those you can just I flipped to the store page first, and it's 151 gig download. And I was like, nope, because I wasn't seeking the cloud streaming version of this. What were you saying, Cesar?
4 was what? 4 was that the UK one?
I think so, but I'm doing seasons. Like, the big thing with 4 when you start off is they drop you in 4 like back to back races with different vehicles, and they introduce seasons. So you're going through the snow, like it's like a Bronco or something like that, or a Jeep.
5 is Mexico.
5 is Mexico. That sounds right.
I think 4 is UK. 3 is Australia. Those are all the ones I played.
Okay, I don't think I've ever played 3 then. So 4 and 5.
4 is big on seasons because of UK's vast temperature changes.
Yep. So you went through the mud in the springtime, and it was raining, and there was grass, and then summer was hot, but it gave you a feel for it. It also gave me like strong haptic feedback in the Steam Deck. Like, the Steam Deck haptic triggers are a lot more than what I remember. I give the DualSense all the credit for it's not HD Rumble. It's like way above all those others for haptic feedbacks. But like I felt a lot with that Steam Deck with the haptics in that. It was surprising. And then when I played the cloud gaming, I played Forza Horizon 5 on the Series X. It looked amazing. And I never saw screen tearing or any hiccups or like the complaints I've had with the cloud streaming before. This was borderline flawless. It was a great experience. I was like, holy shit, they've come a long way with this. And, I've got pretty good internet connection here and a mesh network, and my kids are playing Minecraft, and I'm watching TV off to the side, and I'm streaming this game. And those are connecting to Series S Xboxes, right? It's not a full-blown Series X that you're streaming those cloud hardware things from.
I believe so.
It looked incredible. And I'm playing a racing game, right? So lag and feedback and things like that are pretty important. It was awesome experience. I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing. I was like, this is a flawless experience. And then I go to kill that game and my Xbox froze. Like, I had to literally unplug the Xbox because it would not respond or do anything. I was like, oh, there goes my great experience. I thought it was this awesome thing. And here I am, like, hard rebooting the console. What else did I mess with? Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. I was playing the remaster on Steam Deck. And I told you guys I was stuck, right? Like, I kept going to this Kain battle. And he immediately, like, you have to be in the real world to go after him. And then anytime he hits you and you can't avoid his strikes, he puts you in the spectral realm. And I just kept doing that back and forth and back and forth. I'm like, what the fuck are you supposed to do here? Like, how do you kill him? And I fired it back up because I had put my Steam Deck in sleep mode and saved at that battle because they have not added quality of life saves in this remaster. I'll mention that. Like, it's still the old school, like, PS1 Dreamcast save abilities. You can't save anywhere. So this was one of the first, like, no load times type games. It loads the whole world in initially. And when Kain knocked me into the spectral realm on one of these battles, there's like, Raziel like eats souls, and then he'll have enough power to go back into the normal realm from the spectral realm. And this thing killed me, and I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And I started all the way back at the beginning, and I had to work to where Kain was. And I was like, this might be it. I might be done. I might be done here. This might be it. But I didn't follow a guide for this part, but I remembered like how to get there, and it only took 5 or 6 minutes. It was some backtracking. But I stopped. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this again. And I watched a video, and all you do is run up to Kain and punch him. And then he recoils and moves to a new spot, and you run up to him again and punch him. All I was doing was like trying to dodge these attacks, and if you just rush him and swing at him, you can't win. You can obviously lose because I died. But it just triggers a cutscene. It's one of those unwinnable things, where you just have to go through the motion. And he's like, I've shown you, but I've actually got the Soul Reaver. Like, I'm now bonded to the sword that he was attacking me with. So, I immediately saved after that because I was tired of playing Soul Reaver. I was tired of being stuck at that point. So I'll go back to that at some point, but I finally beat that first Kane battle. That's an awesome game. And friend of the show, Buish, and I got to talking about Gothic horror because I was kind of talking to him about it. And he thought I was talking about Medieval, which is crazy. Medieval came up again because the second game just came to the PlayStation Classics on PS5 or the PlayStation Premium tier. And then we were talking about Ninja Gaiden on the Xbox demo disc. He's never played a Ninja Gaiden. I was like, it's right there on Game Pass. Did they put that Master Collection on Game Pass? That collection of 1, 2, and 3?
It's always been on there.
It's always been on there, yeah. So that's
a
great way to jump into those games too. They're phenomenal. They're super tough. And I was telling him that. I was like, they're hard. But they're good titles.
They're hard, but they're fair.
They are fair. I told him I never got very far in the first one, but when they shipped us that demo disc, like I mastered that first level because it's all about learning patterns and not making mistakes and using potions at the right time. And like the boss in the dojo at the very end of it, like learning to jump up off the walls and come down behind him. So it was just, I don't really have patience or time for that anymore, but it was like learning those patterns and repetition and such, which I think is how the Souls games play, right? Like they're going to kill you. You have to learn how they killed you and how you can deflect or dodge. Or
they typically have methods in their battles, but there is a lot of RNG stuff in there where, I mean, if you follow the pattern, you're fine. But I mean, sometimes they'll throw you for a loop in there.
Some things will go your way and some things will just hose you.
Yeah, I may just be bad with RNG. So,
Halo. I'll wrap up with Halo. We've all been addicted to Infinite the past week or so. Specifically Fiesta. When it's 4 of us and we're playing Fiesta, we have an absolute blast. Friend of the show, Renee has been on with us a lot. We've been running a pretty good foursome there. But I'll let y'all touch on that if you wanna add some more. I think we're gonna try to get through this show and then play some Halo.
Yeah, it won't be long. I mean, it's nothing really to add outside of we've done some Fiesta and that seems to be our jam, and
we're having fun.
Really took some people to town the last match we had on there, luckily. So I mean, there was we lost maybe 1, 2 the most.
Yeah. Remember that one we won 50-9? They didn't even get double-digit kills.
Yeah.
Y'all wouldn't let us end on that one. I was like, damn, we just mopped somebody up.
Way, that sucks, man.
They had bots for like more than half of that match.
The bots usually have my number for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, the 343 bots are god tier 9 times out of 10.
They can be. They really can be.
I mean, I didn't really play much this week. I mean, I've dabbled with Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, and we've talked about this on the show before. I think I'm on like the second world.
Ooh.
It's the third time I played this game, right? I mean, it came out on the Wii, it came out on the 3DS slightly easier, and then it's just kind of like they combined those 2 games and put it on the Switch now, right? It's still, as many people mentioned, there is still some hiccups on there. I mean, you still see some frame rate drops, and it's not like a perfect port in my opinion. But I mean, it there still has that. I think that it's in a very important game because I still love that aesthetic where you have the dusk levels where you have Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong have that the accentuating red and the darkened background. There's some nice artistic choices on there.
Oh yeah, they're essentially silhouettes against the background.
Yeah.
Timeless art, right? Like timeless art design from that time. Still carries forward.
It still pops now, and it still hits now. So, and the game is difficult, right? It's what you always known from like Donkey Kong Country. When they went down that road, I mean, those games can be heavily difficult at certain times. It's like you'll complain about the hitbox. So like, oh damn, I didn't roll it the right way. So the hitbox didn't roll my way. It's just me being bad with RNG, in my opinion. But like I said, I haven't played too much of it.
It looks beautiful. I know it's more a port than a remake, but it's really beautiful.
It serves its purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is another way for many people to play it. So outside of that, I did fire up Rebirth on Steam Deck because I was curious to see how well
Tell us about that.
So I can tell you now that Square Enix has gotten pretty good at optimization. So I think when the game boots up, it's in medium settings and it runs everything at 1080p, 60 frames per second. So it's a good way to play that game. Yeah.
Does it use the new FSR implementation?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I can tell. You can go in there and make some changes and probably force it, but it's a comparable way if you don't, because as Brent has beaten this game, and it's a time sink, right? It's another easy way to kind of like take that game on the go and play it, because we know it's no secret that this is coming to Switch 2 at some point, right? This is like that leaker has kind of leaked everything out,
and hopefully Xbox at some
so
point.
far,
because that seems to be
that's a given.
Square Enix's strategy.
Yeah. I'm talking more of the portability. I mean, the good thing about the Xbox though is it will be Square Enix is all in on Play Anywhere. So if you buy it on the console, you'll be able to play it on PC or in handhelds, and their save data carries over. So that's going to be the plus for the Xbox. So
that is a neat perk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like you only buy one copy, right? You buy one digital copy, and you can play it on any Microsoft Xbox ecosystem device. So and Square Enix is all in on that. So that's like a huge perk for that one. So everybody's gonna have their perks. So like I think
games for Windows.
That game portably is gonna be a game changer. So I think you'll have a lot more people playing it. Even though there's still a lot of hoopla online, because I think they sold about 20. I think there's like 20,000 concurrent players on Steam, but I think there was somebody went to a torrent site and there was like 200,000 people already downloaded the game illegally. So
oh shit.
Yeah. So it's gonna be one of those wild ones for PC. So so support it if you can. I ended up getting an extra discount on mine, so I think mine was like sub 40.
Yeah.
Because I had that Green Man Gaming and I was in the XP Club or whatever that was, so they gave me less than what the $48.99 they were asking from Steam. So I went ahead and just supported it, and I think it'd be easier for me to beat on a portable console than it would be to sit in front of at home, because unfortunately I don't have that luxury at this time. But I think for me that is. I could be forgetting something, but I'll bring it up at some point. I think majority of what I've been playing with you guys, when I do have time to play, it's been Halo.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I've been doing in my free time. It's interesting. I go back and think about it. I've just been working a lot. So
where's my free time going?
But normally I try to play more, but that's it for me. I'll kick it over to Brant.
I forgot something before you wrap it up for us, Brant. I beat on stream Resistance 2. And I beat it in the morning. And the very day I finished the game, my collector's edition copy of Resistance 2 came in the mail from Canada. This shipped took a long time, but it comes with a Chimera hybrid figure, which is awesome, super detailed. I also started up Resistance 3 on stream. Like I couldn't stand it. I took maybe 2 or 3 hours off, and then I fired up that stream. And I'm only about an hour or two into that, but it is an awesome Resistance game. So that's you weren't wrong. It's so good. But also in this collector's edition, there's a bonus disc, which is like some DVD content that's sealed. Nobody's opened this. There is a art book. And again, I unboxed all this stuff and went over it on the beginning of the Resistance 3 stream, because it took about 20 minutes to install everything and download updates, which is a sign of the PS3 times. And then last but not least, it was the cover that I was after. And I did not know when I purchased this. This is a sealed copy of this one.
Oh.
Not for resale from the collector's edition, but that cover is so awesome. I love it. The game wrapped up beautifully. This is the ending of Nathan Hale's story in the Resistance franchise. And honestly, it had a phenomenal ending. It was the Michael Bay version of Resistance. It was set piece after set piece of just unrelenting action all the way through to the end, and it was different than the first game, but I would not say it was any better or any worse. It was its own unique experience, and the third one is also its own unique thing, and it's been awesome so far. But I'll touch more on that next week. Bring it home, Brant.
First off, games acquired.
Yes.
I got some more things from my Famicom.
Yes.
I
Space
got
Invaders.
a Taito game, Space
How was
Invaders.
the NES version of Space Invaders?
Decent. I mean, it's Space Invaders. I don't know what more
Good
you want.
8-bit version.
It's literally plug and play, instant Space Invaders. Game works great.
Damn, you make it sound like just add water.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I popped it in, didn't even have to blow on the cartridge or anything. I popped it in, hit power, and it's just boop right there. I'm like, oh shit, okay, and press start, and you're playing.
I gotta look it up. Space Invaders Famicom. And you're still playing
Like
that on your
1985.
Oh, that one's for Super Famicom.
Also, just in today, I got my first Famicom Disk System game.
Yeah, this is where it's at.
The Legend of Zelda 2. So these are games that are on floppy disk.
Ooh, this is a horrible looking Famicom game. This looks like an Atari game.
I know,
it's basic. Right? They didn't add any fluff to it. It's basic.
It's very basic.
Hopefully this Famicom Disk System game is much more detailed and
it is.
Yeah.
This is side A, side B.
So you were telling me before the show about the sides, like.
So yes, you pop it in, side A. Always start on side A. It boots up the game just like you normally would. Gives you. I sent y'all the picture of the title screen.
It looks so good on that CRT. It's criminal.
Also told y'all that before the show was talking that the title is in Japanese, but then once it starts the scrolling, and the lore text, I guess, that's all in English. And then you get into the game, and of course, like life and magic and everything at the top is in English. If you press start, all of the magic and things you can select, all of that's already in English text. But any of the NPCs that you would encounter, because this one was actually kind of like a different open worldy Zelda adventure, a little bit different than the first one, where you could actually go into villages.
Yeah, a big step up in world
and
building and making it feel like a lived-in place.
Like a lived-in, yeah. So you put it inside A, does the title screen, press start, you have your game saves that you can choose from. And of course, this being a pre-owned Japanese game, it's already got 3 different saves on there.
I wonder how old
so
those save files are.
I just pick one and go into it, and as soon as you pick one, it says please switch to side B. So you have to eject the disc and flip it over, put it back in, and it goes right back in to the game.
It's immediate, like it's that fast of a transfer.
It's a blank. It's a black screen that says wait, and I mean you have, I don't know, 5 seconds, something like that.
Can you hear it read? Can you hear it read in the disc?
Yeah.
I've got to see this thing, man. It's like all of my favorite analog crap rolled up into one. How do you have it hooked up? Just composite?
Yeah, is
that the best you can get out of the Famicom?
Yeah, I think so.
Because they had the AV Famicom after that, and we got the top loader. Took out the AV ports over here, and we only had RF out for our top loader. So you had the jail bar composite signal coming out of that thing.
But other than that, I've been playing a lot of Legend of Dragoon. Last week, trying to remember exactly where I left off.
You were in another prison? Like maybe you went back to the prison again?
No, it was the Dole fight. Emperor Dole. I literally walked around, got into a couple more battles, but I mainly just bought more healing items and went back into the battle.
You had to reload.
And I don't know if I got better timing with that, or like he just didn't go as hard on me that round.
RNG,
like,
as Cesar said.
Yes, it's always a roll of the dice whether they're gonna, do these huge attacks that damage everybody all at the same time, or focus on one person, or so I was able to beat him another time, and I was like, that was crazy. So after you beat him, he kind of has a moment of lucidity, and he tells you about the other person that was kind of his co-conspirator, and that he's gone over to this other land, and you need to chase him if you want answers. And so now we're hunting down this other gentleman,
a sub-villain,
and before we leave, his dragoon, after we beat him, the dragoon spirit leaves him because he had a purple dragoon spirit that was lightning based. It it goes up into the sky, and one of your newer companions, Haskell, gets that dragoon spirit.
Are they transferable? I don't think I got that far in the story.
No. You'll notice as you play through this game, everything's color coded. So like your main character Dart gets the red dragoon spirit. He's dressed in red.
The other lady got the green one.
Yeah, the knight that's in green gets the green one. Shauna is dressed in white. She gets the silver.
Color-coded dragoon.
Haskell is purple and gets the purple lightning. So it's all very color based.
And they're elements too, right? Aren't they elemental based?
Yes. So we go to this new area. The game kind of, after you've done that, you've beaten Dole, you've kind of brought this peace to this warring nation now. You go off to this new area. The game kind of slows down a bit, and this new area has towns that are very elaborate. The first town you find yourself in is very, like, there's all these elaborate patterns of stars and stuff on the ground. There's a big church there. Everybody in there is talking about the stars and astrology and all this stuff. You find that there's something going on with the princess there. Everybody there fears her. It's a recent thing. Like, you walk up and there's this scene where the townspeople are freaking out. They're like, "Oh, the princess is coming! Oh, everybody hide!" Everybody, so. And she's just
she's like a warmonger.
She's just this mean, horrible person, and somebody in your party remarks that, like, that's her. I always heard she was, so nice, and so obviously things are not as they seem. But you can't really do anything at the moment there. So you walk around, and I forget what it is. You're trying. Let me grab this book over here. Let me grab the guide as my reference.
I was about to say, I think you have the official guide for this, right?
So, I went a little too far back.
Do you remember a lot of this, though? Because this is one of your favorites.
Damn it. Sorry, gentlemen.
Live correction.
Brant
seeks out his location in the game.
So you're you leave the town in order to. You're trying to get to this other city, this port town, and you have to go through these barrens. And there's a huge problem with bandits. So you come across this band of bandits, and you have a fight with them. And of course, this is the part of the game where you defeat them, but like the main bandit, there's like a little cutscene, and he steals Dart's Dragoon Spirit, the little gem. So now you're down a Dragoon Spirit.
Uh-oh.
You travel to a town, the next town over. You see that there's a problem with bandits in that town as well. They're just kind of roaming
Don't
around.
fight them. Might lose another gem.
They're just they've moved into these towns, and people again are like, this is kind of like a more recent thing that these bandits have kind of moved in and caused this problem. There's a side thing where you find one woman's husband has run off to go track down the bandits, and try and end this. And he's going to get married, so the fiance is worried about him. So you of course say, okay, I'll go save him. In the process of walking through the town, you meet yet another companion. Her name is Miru.
These all party members?
She is
eventually?
Yes. She is a like tiny little 16-year-old girl that wields a giant mallet, and she's very eccentric.
Stop. Hammer time.
So you find out the bandits hide in this place, or are in this place that's beyond the Valley of Corrupted Gravity. It's this crazy area where you literally have to like jump on these little rocks and float over to different platforms. You go to certain areas and basically like float upside down and walk
cool.
upside down on these areas, and have to like traverse upside down
cool
and get to where to go through this area.
It's like a puzzle.
But of course, you can't go there. It's forbidden because it's dangerous. You have to go back to the previous town to get the king's permission. So you trek all the way back. The king gives you permission. Of course, several people remark again at that the one princess, her name is Emily, her recent behavior change. Turns out she has a sister. Her sister comes and requests an audience with you. She says, through astrology, I've learned that there's some connection between my sister, the way she's acting, and these bandits. Can you help me? Can you track this down and find out what's going on? Of course, because you're already going to seek out the bandits anyway, you're like, sure, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Might as well.
So you go through the Valley of Corrupted Gravity. You wind up going through there and then entering the now abandoned home of the Giganto, which are like a gigantic race of people. That's all been taken over by bandits.
Name checks out. These bandits are everywhere.
Yeah, track down and defeat the bandits, which also has there's some side story stuff there with Haskill. There's a lot that I'm leaving out because it's a lot of like character development and character motivations and things like that. Because I know at some point you really do need to play through this, Richard.
Can't remember why I fell off of this one. I wasn't stuck or anything. I got to a village after getting the Dragoon Spirits, and just probably something else distracted me.
So
I love that the characters, like, they don't just introduce a character and explain their story and then move on. Like, they're, this, you were mentioning this Haskell character, you picked him up before, but now he's got a new story beat in this new town.
Yeah.
They don't just,
because he's a martial arts master, and his whole motivation, he's looking for his daughter.
It's a hell of a motivation.
A long time ago, his daughter, at this point, his daughter's just disappeared. He's looking for her. He's trying to track her down. So while you're in this village of bandits, he sees one of these bandits showing off and, you know, doing these martial arts moves, and he's immediately like, "Hey, how do you know that? That's this technique." He goes, "Well, my master taught me. He's, you know, the leader of our gang. He's such and such." He goes, "Oh, I know him. He was a disciple of mine, but he was kicked out, 20 years ago." So that leads to
Good layer of
a
lore.
whole like little confrontation in there. Beat the bandits, eventually find out that yes, the princess back in the town is a fake. She's working with the bandits for some unknown reason, but giving them influence. Go back to the town, only to find out that there's a coronation ceremony happening, and she's getting a one of the ancient relics, one of the MacGuffins in the game. There's like these three things that we don't know what they do. We just know of them. And so far, one of them has been stolen. This other one is about to be passed to this imposter, so we're trying to figure out how we stop that.
It's a lot of people not keeping up with their shit.
Uh-huh. So we go talk to the other sister. Tell her, "Hey, that woman's a fake. We got to find the real princess." And you run around, do a little bit of searching, you find her. Y'all come back into the room as the coronation's about to take place.
Impeccable timing.
The imposter jumps up, steals the MacGuffin, and then jumps off and reveals that she's just some crazy looking lady. And turns out she is yet another race of person that we thought was extinct in this world, which is pretty interesting.
Is there a lot of those, or are they like uncovering all these different groups of peoples that were thought to be extinct?
Well, there was the Giganto, which I told you, Kongal popped up a couple times, which I glanced over that. Kongal shows up.
You fought him twice, right? And have you mentioned that?
Yeah,
character?
you fight him twice. He shows up back in the abandoned town of the Giganto as you're finishing up your fight with the bandits, and he decides he wants to join you as well because you're strong. So he becomes a party member as well. But he's a Giganto. He tells you that his humans feared the giants, and they waged war against them and killed them all. So he was only saved by Emperor Dole, and that's why he fought for him, is because he saved him.
It's always gray area. Things are not as black and white as they appear.
And he said he believed in a world where everybody could be equal. So that's why he fought. So this new lady, this new enemy, she is a Wingly, which is a ancient race of people that, goes back. The whole lore of the game is like there was this huge war fought thousands of years ago where the Winglies were this kind of godly-like race that could fly through the sky, and they enslaved humans, and then the humans rose up with the power of the dragons. And
this your mallet lady?
No.
This is somebody else.
This is the bandit chick that just showed up. But you fight her. She's actually really strong. She can cast magic and all this stuff. And then she winds up, you fight her, you beat her, but she still winds up jumping out off the balcony and getting away. So,
Winglies.
The king says that, well, you should go over here to go track down the last object to make sure it doesn't get stolen as well. So we get on a ship, go that way. There's a part on a boat where all you do is kind of go from character to character and get a little bit more in depth, like little bits of character development and motivation and things like that. And then in the middle of that, you crash into a giant ghost ship and board the ghost ship, fight. And once you finish with all of that, you guys try to jump back onto the main ship, and your main character slips, almost falls off, and along with Rose, she's that lady with like the blue, from like the very beginning of the game that's in your party. Yeah. She rushes and grabs you, and tries to keep you from falling, and you both fall overboard, and then you wake up on the side of the beach. So y'all are stranded, and right now we have to get back to our party. But there's a good bit of there's like one of those full motion CGI cutscenes that happens with her. Yeah. And those are some of the best ones, and it shows because there's a lot of like hinting at the beginning that Rose is very ancient. And it shows her fighting it shows her fighting in that battle from, it was like 11,000 years ago with the original Dragoons, and like all this, explosions and her comrades dying in front of her, and like all this stuff. It's pretty crazy. And she's, talking about how one of them in particular reminds her of Dart, and that's why she's kind of like drawn to him. But obviously she sees him in Dart, but Dart's his own person. She's basically to that point where like, I can't change anything. What happened, it happened forever ago, kind of thing, right. Lamenting that she couldn't save them.
Is she eternal or anything, like immortal?
That's the thing, is like that nothing character? About that. Not a lot has been said about that. There's at least right now there's no description or anything saying how she's lived that long. So
the mystery continues.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm in this like little village, and we're supposed to go, I guess it's like one town over, because that's where the boat was going to dock. And so we're going to try to go meet up with the rest of the party.
On a boat, the ghost ship.
But I that was like getting through where I stopped was basically the end of disc 1.
All that's in
last
disc
time.
1?
And then the last week.
Holy crap.
After that fight with Dole is disc 1, and everything now I've been on disc 2.
Okay.
So
good stuff. 2 discs, and 2.5 discs for me.
Other than that, and some Halo with y'all.
Lots of Halo.
We played a little bit of Rivals together.
You guys did.
You weren't there.
My internet shit the bed.
It was Wish, Cesar, and friend of the show Renee.
Mm-hmm.
All of us jumped on. But yeah, I think that was it.
Nothing to touch on Marvel Rivals.
It was good. I mean, it's one of those things where it's probably just
very Overwatchy.
Yeah, you have to pick a character and kind of figure out what you're doing, and just pretty much stay with one character.
What Weish was saying, he's like, I have no clue what's happening.
Bit better.
Marvel Rivals. All right, is that it for us?
I never thought Penny Parker would be somebody I would get attached to. So,
would you like that character?
For whatever reason, I do well with her, even though she's like a level 3 difficulty.
Is that it for us? Those are our games played. That's our news. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Adios.